everyone! In today's video we are continuing the Arts and Crafts project, building Wilda's steps to the mast. If you missed last week's episode, go ahead and check it out to catch the start of the project. We built the steps from laminated foam panels, glued them together and also glassed them on the interior. Now we carry on with the job, glassing the exterior, filling some uneven spots and fairing the exterior before we glue them in place. Stay with us to see the final product. After having spent some time back home in Europe, we are excited to be back in Australia and to share more about our wonderful project, building Wilda. In case this is the first time you're watching, Wilda is a Schionning Wilderness 1340 sailing catamaran that has spent too many years in a shed in Australia without being finished. Axel bought the boat in 2019 and since then, with COVID, jobs and everything in between, we managed to make a few trips down under and made some progress on the build. Of course, with a massive project like this one, we are not yet done. But we are pushing forward and we do hope that sometime soon we will be out there on the water. In case we managed to spark your interest to find out more about building Wilda, what changes we made on the boat and how did it go, do have a look at our previous videos to see where we started and where we are now. As we mentioned, this is part 2 of the Arts and Crafts project. So Axel is here preparing the surfaces of the steps for applying the fiberglass and epoxy on the exterior.
I just took my arts and crafts project out of the cabin where they sit overnight. So from these little pieces of foam, and I now have little steps. 4 of these and 2 bigger ones. So today my plan is to clean these up, remove all the fiberglass sticking out, and then I'll do some filling on this big step here before glassing the front edge of this. But they're coming up pretty good, very good actually. And this is what the steps look like with some more fairing compound. So this we're just preparing for the next round of glassing, and these are all finished with glass. The plan is that we make them a little bit nicer, mostly fair, before we install them. That's the hope. And hopefully it will work out nicely. It's a messy job.
But they look good.
They will, yeah.
As you know by now, after any fairing job comes the oh glorious sanding. And if the first round of fairing was reasonably good, we are left with only a few spots that require extra filling. If they are small and we are not working on a structural boat part, then we can use the car body filler, which dries quickly, so we can sand again in 20-30 minutes, unlike the epoxy fairing compound, which cures overnight. As you can see, the big step is about 2 days of work behind. The reason for that is simply the fact that we didn't have a laminated foam panel to begin with as big as the top side of the step, so we had to build it.
So, here we have it. My beautiful big step upside down. It's not that pretty yet, but I did put some peel ply around the edges here in hopes that I get a slightly better surface. This is the last of peel ply that I have, so I couldn't cover the whole thing even if I wanted to. So I got the corners in hopes that I might get a better result. Less fairing or less sanding, and also it feels like, I'm not sure if that's true, but if you put peel ply onto glass, it seems more likely to stay where you want it if you're turning stuff upside down. And here I'm glassing on the top of the step and the bottom of the step at the same time, and which is not ideal when doing this sort of thing, but it'll work. And if it doesn't work, I'll just cut it off. The other 4 steps turned out pretty good. So there's, yeah, I sanded them down to about this finish. And there you see, perhaps, that there's a couple of holes and things like that. And the next stage is I fill them with actually a car body filler, which is not epoxy and it's not the marine or anything, but it'll fill a few holes and it's not gonna degrade. At least I hope so. It'll do the job, I'm sure, but most of it's going to be sanded off anyway. So all it really will do in the end is fill some pinholes. They're turning out really nice, actually, and I would have wanted to sand them down and glue them in place, but I sort of want to do them all at the same time. So this one is a day behind, or 2.
So finally, the big step is getting his share of fairing.
Another round of sanding on these steps. So I filled these, and as you can see, there's a lot of extra material here on the edge. That was my attempt to getting this done in just one round of filler, which never works, by the way, but it gets me close enough so that the next round of filler only needs to be something like this. But we're moving forward.
Have you ever walked the high pass, watched the northern lights flash, took a photograph on a Paris street? Have you ever climbed a tall tree, asked someone for mercy, gave something away that wasn't free? I don't wanna get a vision of you stuck in my head, because I know that you were meant to be wilder. Another night of television while you're lying in bed is slowly gonna be the...
Now that the steps are faired and finished, they are ready to come on board. Installation time!
Talk a big game, but it's just a matter of time. Have you ever
So what we've done is we've sanded down all the paint and the fairing compound down to glass, so that we'll have a good bonding surface when we glue this step onto the front of the boat, hopefully.
Until I laid my eyes on you.
We prepared a mix of epoxy and structural glue and attached the steps to Wilda.
And there was nothing I could do.
And once the big boy was in place, we felt confident to continue with the side steps.
Because I know that you'll be true.
It's amazing how fast and easy it all looks when watching a time-lapse.
There's so much to look forward to.
But having said that, now aren't you curious to see how's real life?
So now you're trying to find that straight line to align the step below.
Exactly.
That seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I hope so. Just figure out how hard it is.
Good.
What's 87 divided by 2?
43.5, yes. It's super good.
Don't read those.
No? The Y and X?
No.
No, those we don't check. We just look at the bubbles. The bubbles seem fairly centered, which means it's level. Isn't that how it works?
Yes, that's exactly how it works.
Yes. Yeah, he's a little
doesn't
bit
matter.
leaning down,
It doesn't matter.
isn't he?
Yes, but we tape him in place anyway.
Okay.
You have the
Tape? No. But we have to put him in line, so to the right, no?
What?
The line is here,
Okay.
like so.
Yeah.
Oh. Like so, yes.
Yeah.
Like that. Good!
Do you think tape is enough?
For our steps, should we leave them like that? It's okay?
I'm drowning in fire. Even if it's just inside my head. I wanna expire and do all the things I said. I don't need the money. Doesn't even get you all that far. When the end is the beginning, all you need to do is start. I'm drowning in fire.
Hello there!
Hey.
So what are you working on next?
Now I'm trying to figure out.
The best spot
Yes.
for the next step that needs to be glued in there?
Yeah.
That looks good from here.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to split the elevation difference between here and here in two. And by eye.
By eye, yes. But by eye, I can tell you that it looks good from here.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? And
I think that's a very good spot.
yeah, so that's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
And the other steps that we already glued in the other day passed the test,
Yeah.
passed the weight test.
Yes, the weight test was me standing on it.
Yes.
So that I didn't fall through.
And and they also passed the positioning test.
Sort of.
So it,
yes.
yeah,
They are perfectly.
it
in
feels
the
very
middle.
comfortable to step on them and to walk
Yes.
up there. So I can just prove that. So
And down?
Down? Okay, let's show that the big step also passes the test. So this one, ta-da! Oh, maybe this was not caught on camera. Take 2. As I was saying, I can very naturally step up here and get to the roof. And then, in order to go down, I can come down here. Well, I should probably come down here, so there would be a mast in the way. And then I can either step down there. Ooh, that's going to feel tricky.
Well, that's going to be good.
Maybe I can do sideways. Yeah, something like that.
It's not going to be so weird when it's a solid step. When
Yes,
it's not
I think so.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Okay.
So we want to glue this step to this hatch here, and to get a better bond, I'll just remove some of the fairing that we put there so nicely.
And once all the steps were finally attached to the boat, we could also make a nice coving around them for a prettier and smoother look of the joint.